Everyone goes through hard situations, whether it's school stress, work, relationships, or just feeling overwhelmed in general. I know for me personally, balancing work, school, and everything else can get stressful really fast. And sometimes it feels like everything is going wrong at once. Being stressed and overwhelmed can lead to negative thinking, which may feel natural, but it's not right. The problem with negative thinking is that it doesn't actually help with anything. It just affects your mood, and it drains your energy, and it makes the situation feel worse than it already is. It can make you feel stuck, unmotivated, and even more stressed. So today, I'm going to show you 3 simple ways to stay positive during difficult situations. And these are things you can actually use in real life, not just ideas. Because at the end of the day, staying negative doesn't solve the problem. It makes it harder. Step 1. The first step is learning how to control your thoughts. A lot of the time, the situation itself isn't even the worst part. It's the way we think about it. When something goes wrong, we immediately jump to the worst conclusions. Like, everything's falling apart, or I can't handle this. But the truth is, your thoughts shape your mindset. So instead of letting your thoughts go negative, you can actually train yourself to shift them into something more positive and more realistic. One simple way to do this is by catching a negative thought and correcting it immediately. So for example, if you think, I'm going to fail this, you stop and you replace it with, this is stressful, but I can try and I can focus and I'll do better. It's not about being fake positive. It's about not letting your mind spiral into something worse than it is. The faster you can catch and correct that negative thought, the less power it has over your mood and your energy. Step 2. The second step is focusing on what you can control. A lot of stress and negativity comes from trying to control things that are completely out of our hands, like other people, unexpected situations, or things that already happened. When you keep focusing on those things, it just drains your energy. It makes you feel even more overwhelmed. So instead, you want to shift your focus on what you can control, like your actions, shift it on your efforts, and how you respond to situations. One way to do this is to pause and ask yourself, what can I actually do about this situation right now? For example, if you're actually stressed about school and you can't control how difficult the class is, but you can control how you study, asking for help, or just managing your time better. Even in situations where you feel stuck, there's usually always something small you can control. And focusing on that can make you feel a lot more in control and less stress. When you stop focusing on everything you can't control, you actually feel a lot calmer and more clear-headed. It's exhausting trying to control everything. Step 3. Create small positive habits. Staying positive isn't about being happy all the time. It's about doing small things that help your mood, even when you're going through something challenging. You don't need to completely change your life to feel better, but it's the small habits that make the biggest difference. One way to do this is by adding simple things into your day that help reset your mindset. For example, this could be listening to music, going for a walk, prioritizing your rest, journaling, or even talking to someone you trust. These small habits help you break away from negativity and give your mind a break. And even though they seem small, they can actually shift your mood a lot more than you think. Sometimes all it takes is one small positive action to change how your whole day feels. You don't need to do everything. Just start with one thing. So, overall, staying positive doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending everything's perfect. It just means choosing how you respond to difficult situations. By controlling your thoughts, focusing on what you can control, and creating small positive habits, you handle stress in a way more healthier way. And these are the things you can start doing right away in your everyday life. Because at the end of the day, negative thinking doesn't fix anything. It just makes it harder. When you shift your mindset, it becomes a lot easier to deal with whatever you're going through.